My next show.
Our last hour of the show has become synonymous with something that we do every Tuesday night by inviting some legendary folks, some of your favorite artists. We're basically tracing the past, present and future of UK music, and I was really looking forward to having these guys in for In Depth. We kind of had to leave a gap though because they came and shut down a team takeover at the beginning of the year. In fact, it was my first show in the slot, so I got to salute them for doing that as well. But they're back in the building, and boy, have we got a lot to talk about, man. You can probably hear from the music in the background who I'm about to introduce, but in case you're not up on it, in case you don't know, one of the most legendary groups, one of the most legendary acts to come out of the UK, founding fathers of this whole grime thing, man. We're going to get into all of that. Introducing Fonty, Mighty Mo, and Bushkin, the Heartless Crew. Man, them in the building, back again.
Back like we never left.
It's like I can't get enough of you guys, man. Bushkin was in with the team takeover with Majestic. You guys shut down.
Yeah, that was sick.
You set the levels for team takeovers back in January as well with the Heartless Crew team takeover. And we're back again, man. In Depth tonight, though.
Lovely, yeah, man. Feels good.
First and foremost, how are you guys? Fonty, how are you, bro?
Boy, very good, mate. Very good. Yeah, I understand. Life is nice. Just coming from Austria.
Jeez.
You know what I mean, basically. And boy,
is that a work or a pleasure trip?
Always work, but we mix the two together. You get me?
Exactly. That's why I think we're all still here. Mo, how you doing, bro?
I'm good, thank you, brother. How are you?
I'm all good, man. Even better for seeing you lot in front of me, man. Bush, I'll probably ask you, but I've been seeing you like every few days, it seems, right?
Yeah, that's it, man. I'm part of the furniture now, one extra way.
Yeah, that's
got
what
my name on the seat and all.
Exactly, we have to get the Bushkin chair out. He's back again.
The armchair.
So I don't know if you guys have managed to check out any of the previous in-depth interviews or chat. I don't like to really call them interviews because it's more like I'm just down the local having a chat with some pals because that's what they always feel like, man. And we've been just going back in time and tracing the steps of some careers and some real highlights and some legendary names in the game. Now it doesn't get any more legendary when we're talking collective crews, you know, foundation sound systems, just everything that reps the UK. It doesn't get any more legendary than you guys, the Heartless Crew, man.
Bless our love for that, boy.
Bless
so nice.
I want to go all the way back. I want to take it back to, you know, before any of us had heard of you guys as the Heartless Crew, North London. If we just throw a year out there, let's just say like, I don't know, 1990. North London.
Yeah.
I can see you all kind of visualising in your minds what was going on, Bush. What was happening around those times for you?
Them times, that's the early days. We just started secondary school, so that was the year that I actually met Fonty.
Yeah.
Basically in secondary school.
Yeah.
We hadn't even started the sound thing yet, but we were into music and for me, them times I was still going to it was little shebeens, all dayers, and then the family functions. You understand? And man was just getting the musical vibes from every angle like that.
Before, you know, it was kind of like festivals every weekend. It was like all dayers in the park.
Exactly.
You go over there, there'd be like some sound systems, there'd be some chicken cooking. There'd be like a stage where the younger performers are and whatnot.
That's right.
With those kind of early all dayers and like you said, family functions, is that the kind of early inspiration when it comes to music as a whole for all three of you?
Yeah, but also as well, I used to play music from in school. Basically, you know, they taught I learnt like classical guitar from when I was in primary school. You know,
Wow.
so by the time I got to like secondary school in 1990, right, it was sound old, didn't it? Then you know, I already had like knowledge of playing the guitar, the keyboard, and drums. So I always had that kind of musical creative influence in me anyway. And around 1990, that was like when what was going on, a house party wasn't getting kid and playing all that kind of thing there. Like that was the era for me. Like basically everyone's like doing a dancing, break dancing, body popping, all them kind of things there as well. You know.
I feel like the 90s in general was such a. I'm gonna join in with this sounding old thing because the 90s was just a golden era, man. When it comes to music, when it comes to vibe, I feel like if you kind of lived through that 90s, it gave you like an extra layer of something.
Yeah, musical vibes, boy. That was it.
How about you, Mo? How was it coming up for you, early days?
Well, in 1998, I was probably just listening to the radio and watching a bit of Top of the Pops.
That was the one.
That was literally like, even for me, like early on, that's how you kind of soaked up music. Music you heard from older family or parents or whatever, and then like you'd have Top of the Pops. There wasn't the internet, there wasn't really, even cable TV wasn't really about yet on a large scale. So your inspirations were limited. You had to make the most of it.
The music was much more auditory
Yeah.
back then it's a lot more visual now, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. You know, music was literally based on what you heard. You didn't have some songs didn't even have videos, and if they did, where were you gonna even see them?
Make your own pictures.
So it was mad. So you guys, you know, all into music. I guess that was something that you guys all kind of pretty much had in common when you first met.
Yeah.
When did you decide to start having a dabble yourselves? I know, Fonty, you were already playing instruments and heading for this rock star thing, it seems.
Yeah, you know.
When did you kind of decide to dabble, Bush? When did you decide to, you know, either get involved in MC, pick up a mic, decks? What was it first?
You know, like I was like a fan of music and just a vibes man, really and truly. My older brother had a sound system, and my mum, she was in a sound system prior to that and stuff like that. Even my dad as well. But then it come out like in secondary school, couple years into secondary school. Like Fonty said, he already come into secondary school with a musical vibe. Like he was the bad man in school at music, whether it was chatting, playing instruments, steel pan. Like
That guy in the playground
he
is
was
like,
that guy.
he can do like just ask him, he can pull off anything.
He was the man, basically. So I clocked that at the end and early on, and I kind of give him a tap and said, "Yeah, man, come, let's do this thing. Let's like, do a little sound kind of, sound system." And like, yeah, he was getting, and then that kind of got me into it. And I had a few little touches prior, but that was when I really said, okay, yeah. And I wasn't even a great musician. I just had the idea, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I couldn't even really call myself a great musician at that time at all. I wouldn't even say I am now, but Fonty definitely was.
Now you're being too humble now, Bush.
No, bro. I'll pay you later, Chuck.
if we can play a record that would sum up just that early inspiration. You know, you spoke about those early family parties and dances and whatnot, and those all days. If you could play a record that kind of sums it up, what would it be?
It's weird from the.
It's a tough one to pick one, I know.
Yeah, from the family function kind of things, it was like Love and Hate. I think it's Dennis Brown. Them kind of tunes that always used to be beating. And then, but for my own kind of personal thing, again, I was like following fashion with my brother. My brother was into hip hop in those early days. So like Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, he had a tune called My Philosophy. And that tune, that had me.
That still bangs. That still bangs.
Yeah, that really touched me still. Yeah. So that would be my kind of.
Yeah, but on the flip side of it though, like if you're talking about the actual all dayers, Clisso Park, Hackney Downs.
Wow, the Clisso Park, that's like, I just had flashbacks.
Yes, I would say then I'd have to say like, it'd have to be a tune like Ride the Panani, you know. I don't even know if you like to say that, but that's a tune's called, you know. Bugger Worries.
Legendary rhythms. I think we should try and play that if that's at all possible. Let's run that.
Play that, edit, do what you have to do, you get me? That was and it was an East London man as well, you get me? Basically, Bugger Worries his name was, you get me, son? Man had the English Cockney accent in there as well, saying that was the one, the bass line. When I used to lick, boy, that was a mad one. That was the first time I actually get to grind up on something. Yeah, you know, they went there, teenage thing, you know.
Sick. So if you're just checking in, it's the Heartless Crew in for tonight's In Depth from me, DJ Target. We just spoke about, you know, the early inspirations. These guys originally meeting early secondary school. Fonty, you just touched on that Bag of Worries track that was shutting down all dayers and helping you to get your wine on as well at the same time. Also as well, man, mentioned that not only that was such a sick rhythm, to be fair, but Bag of Worries had that East London connection, of course, man. Was that kind of an early local inspiration? Because up until then, I guess a lot of the music we would have been listening to, like myself, would have been US hip hop, Jamaican dancehall, or whatever. It wasn't until, for me personally, when jungle kind of came along, it was like, wow, these guys are they're from the ends.
Yeah. You know, it's weird you say that, because back then, I don't know about Fonty or Mo, but like, I didn't even know Bag of Worries was from London. It was like, the tune was banging. It was more in bashment, it was ragga. It was just another ragga tune, but was banging, basically. So, I was kind of oblivious to the fact that he was from East London. At that time, you just think everyone's from Jamaica, basically, chatting there.
Same with Glamour Kid as well. When Glamour Kid came through, it was like...
Glamour we knew, because that was a bit later. He was quite a bit later, so we knew, and man knew Glamour Kids, basically, because, I mean, Bag of Worries would have been a good amount older than us. Glamour Kid's probably only a year older than us, so we knew people who knew Glamour Kid. Like my cousin from Hackney, they went to school with Glamour and stuff like that. So we knew he was UK. But like people like Bag of Worries, and they remember they were Scribble and Militant.
Oh,
remember them? They were UK as well. But even them, you never knew.
They were just blending in with the
Split-
Jamaican artists,
and that's
man.
it. The DJs were juggling it all the same, like, wow, you understand? It's just another rhythm, basically, and they were on yard rhythms as well, or similar to yard rhythms. So they just fitted in the juggling. You didn't even really know.
Yeah. To be fair, even with the hip hop artists, the UK rappers used to rap in American
It's true,
accents
yeah.
as well. Still, so they was emulating that, wasn't they?
It's true. We didn't really have our own sense of, we hadn't
Ownership.
stamped a genre, or like I said, jungle hadn't come through, garage, grime, all these things were yet to come. So we were kind of just putting our little spin on stuff that was coming from overseas, I guess.
That's right, yeah.
Now, early sound system for you guys, where were you playing? What kind of stuff was you juggling, funny? Like, what was the crowds like? I see a smile on all three of your faces as well.
Yeah, boy. Nah,
When you originally, would you just start out as Heartless Crew? Was there another name that you probably embarrassed of now, like so many of us?
No. We had two names prior to Heartless Crew.
Yeah.
Wicked Intention and Destruction.
Chase.
Yeah, two
Both of
killing
them
it,
sound like they got to win the World Cup clash.
That's it.
That's right. Destruction was the first one, innit?
Yeah, that's right.
And then Wicked Intention that lasted a month or two.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
That one didn't really take off then.
It lasted longer than Destruction anyway.
that's right. Again, it was similar to other, because in them days there, as a sound system, again, emulating the Jamaican sound system, you're trying to come with the roughest, toughest name, what's gonna almost scare another
your
sound
opponents,
before they even put a record on the deck, basically. So it was all the sounds them time they had hectic names, innit?
Yeah.
You was up there with those two names, though, as well, definitely.
we held our
We
own.
had to go in there, get me.
So once Heartless had officially been born, and you guys were, I guess, starting to be known in North London first and foremost. When was it that you decided to incorporate, the likes of jungle and later on garage? Was it a natural progression to incorporate UK genres, UK sounds?
Yeah, I think it was, because we always, like, we started off playing bashment and R&B and hip hop and all that. That's what we started off playing.
Slow jams as well.
Yeah, slow jams.
Soca.
Yeah.
Bit of soca in there as well.
Yeah, we would have played soca. I don't know if we had any soca them times there, but yeah, that kind of style, like being able to play around all the genres. Because we was young, we never really used to play too much of the old stuff. Just more what was current at the time, and that was just bashment and the hip hop things. You know what I mean? Basically, or this was just coming in just before the whole Biggie and Tupac thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Basically, they was just getting renowned and getting bigger around the time. Basically, raves like Samantha's, Hanover Grand,
Wow.
Number 10 Club. You know what I mean? But all those kind of ones there was running. So we used to play across the board, yeah. But the jungle, when jungle was coming in, that was a specialist thing. People who play in jungle, you know what I mean, Groove Rider, all the man there, they was just specialist jungle people. You're not getting no jungle in a place where you're hearing bashment or R&B or anything like that.
Yeah.
We was like one of the first people to do that for two reasons. One, because we was innovators, and two, because you have to be able to mix jungle. You can get away with being a dusty DJ and bashment, chop it in anyway, chop it anything like that. But on jungle,
Those man were serious, boy. It was like no games trying to get into that scene at all.
Exactly, that's it. That's the thing, man. So we took that seriously because we was trying to get into the jungle scene hard at one stage, hard, and like, so I was mastering my mixes basically. Like all the Crisp Biscuit was going rife them times.
I was just about to ask you as well, being young and being not genre specific, if you like, and just basically being in this for vibes. You had the opportunity to be mixing R&B into bashment, into to hip hop, into whatever it be, and a lot of DJs, like you said, weren't doing that. A lot of DJs were either a ragga DJ, a hip hop DJ. Some did obviously mix it up as well, but you were the first I heard to really do some of those crazy mixes with stuff that was like 140 BPM with a 70, so it's like a half tempo. Like
That's
some of those
right.
mixes, which we'll talk about from the legendary Mission set, and later on down the line, we'll talk about that in a minute. But you was real early with that fonts, man.
Yeah, because it all started from the sound system business as well. Because like we said back in the day, I was like the original kind of MC for the sound, and I also used to play bashment, the ragga, yeah. Bushki used to play ragga as well. We kind of like juggled it together. He will play the 7s, I'll play the 12 inches, you know, and then we just work back to back like that. And then Mo, we also had another guy called Ogwan. Yeah, he used to play the R&B Sootman and stuff like that. And then Mo come in, he was like the hip hop DJ, and also man could scratch as well.
Jeez.
Them time they like, that was like the flavour them time to get me. A man could bust out some scratching to get me. So he was kind of hardcore. So what happened is then when we're all playing together now as a sound, to go from one genre to another, there's always that time where it's like, okay, what tune you're gonna come with to make it blend so it doesn't sound like, why are you changing the genre for?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's when I actually probably kind of stumbled on the Chris Biscuit, because Mo could mix, he can scratch as well. He could like recommend a tune where it's like, oh yeah, that tune there can mix on a halftime. I used to like playing around with things anyway.
Yeah.
So if it's the acapella or instrumental, like give me that acapella, I'm trying on every different thing. And I think one of the first Chris Biscuits I remember doing was Ahmed back in the day. So that would have been one of Mighty's tunes. You get basically, I wouldn't have known about Ahmed. I mean, I knew about like the hip hop man, them Nas and all that kind of thing, but Mo schooled me in like the real man them and Who Is Who and EPMD and all them man there still. So he would have give me the acapella of that, and I've been playing around now, pulling out some of the jungle to what we got now, and boom, mixing that with lighter. Jeez. That is still a mix I have to still bring it back again. I gotta bring that one back again. Mad thing.
Sick. Those Chris Biscuits, man, and everything you guys were doing at the time, I guess was just building up towards, you know, the name spreading, the recognition growing, and then not too long before you guys had your own radio show.
Yeah, it's weird because going from ragga to jungle, it's like at that time we came into the sound system, the youth sound system thing a bit late.
Yeah.
So there was again the Glamour Guards, the Black Mafia. They were a little bit older than us, basically. Glamour Kid himself was in Glamour Guard, basically. That sound. They were a little bit older than us. So when we come into it a little bit late, you understand? By the time the kind of ragga thing faded out and all those guys, the old guys, jumped into the jungle scene, instead of us just jumping into the jungle scene as ravers, we started to play jungle on the sound system. So that's where the natural progression kind of built up, and then almost the same thing happened again with garage. But garage kind of took a sweep over jungle. Instead of us just jumping in as ravers, you understand, we just adopted that garage sound to a sound system, you understand, and we just played everything as a sound.
I was going to mention as well, because you mentioned how hard that jungle scene, which was a generation before, they were kind of, they had it locked down. It was very hierarchical.
One of them vault doors,
yeah,
it
was
banks, one of them kind of locks.
And if you were like, even if you, just because you were young, it's like, oh no, you're not being taken seriously. So
you can't get in.
It was almost like having missed that boat, which a lot of us did properly. We had some fun and we got to, enjoy it. But when UK Garage came along, which was even still, it was still the generation above, more or less. It was kind of like there was a little back door open.
Yeah, that's right. We slipped in that door. They must have left that door a little ajar, and we ran straight. But again, it's like what they say: luck is when opportunity meets preparation. Yeah. And we were so overly prepared for to trying to get into the jungle scene, beating that door down for a year, 2 years, however long, and not getting anywhere. By the time the garage door. God, so was
no, I was gonna say we was good at the jungle as well.
Yeah, it was heavy. We thought. I remember going to raves. I can't even remember, and I wouldn't even like to block the DJ now. But I remember going to rave. Me and thought it was hard jungle raves, like Thursday to Sunday. We was raving in the raves. I remember being on the dance floor front, and we're looking up at the DJ and thought, that should be me up there. Look what I could do this mix. I could do that. I could do this. You understand? The man was just fantasizing about it. But then a couple of years later, it was literally us up there, basically.
I remember, that legendary Sunday early evening, late afternoon slot, Mission FM, like UK Garage. Like I'd been put onto UK Garage by a friend of mine who'd been out raving with some of his uncles, and like they was fully all up on it. It was like, you got to put on shoes, and it's like, and I was like, bruv, like you sure? It's like, no, listen, you put on the shoes, it's smart. Everyone's in there, champagne, there's loads of girls in there. I was like, okay, I'm gonna come and check this out. It sounds a bit grown up and serious, but boy, I didn't look back after that. And literally after that, following up on who to listen to and whatnot, stumbled upon this trio who sounded like they was more like me and my man them. Even though like we loved garage, there wasn't anyone that was playing directly to us. It didn't feel like. And those Sunday evening sets on Mission, boy, they were like literally life changing for so many people, man.
No,
did it feel like it couldn't have felt like that for you guys, but when you look back on it, and when you talk to anyone who was around in that era, really late 90s into early 2000s or whatever, those Mission sets from Heartless Crew Like those tape packs, like not tape packs, those tape sets.
Recordings, yeah.
Like people have got them like locked in
Boxed up
safes
now.
and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah,
It's
that's
crazy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. A lot of people, that is a life changer for people. People's like, wow, their mission days and stuff like that. And yeah, people's loving it. It's literally crazy. But at the time for us, we're just just happy to be getting true basically. Because remember, we'd been banging our head against the jungle door for so long. I'm preparing, sharpening up the knives, preparing, couldn't get through. As soon as that door got left a little bit ajar for garage, we was in there. The trick of it was for us, when we come into garage, we found it so easy. Because obviously, jungle, it's
Slower tempo, innit?
yeah, it's probably harder to mix and then to chat on it as well. You're speeding it fast. So now we're kind of slowing our lyrics down for garage, and we've got bare lyrics already because with jungle, you're emceeing all the way across the tracks.
So you guys was super prepared.
Super prepared. We came into garage thinking, wow, this is a bit easy because like now we're just bringing one bag as opposed to bringing it all up, bare boxes of tunes. The tunes are probably easy to mix with fun. Plus they're slower, so we've got a bit more time. A bit more relaxed. We can tell a bit more of the stories on the rhythms as well, and proper get into it, and enjoy the MC a bit more. People can understand exactly what we're saying and stuff like that.
It was almost like the perfect fit for what you guys have been training for.
Yeah, it fit like a glove. It was like literally amazing. We was like, wow, this is just like, yeah, it's just we found our home now. And where we had so many lyrics for jungle, when we come to garage, it's like them lyrics doubled basically. So we was over.
Yeah, like just sets worth of lyrics for days.
Yeah, because that's what we used to sit down, we'll stand up and be MCing all night basically on jungle.
Sick.
So by the time garage comes out, wow, this is like easy.
Funny, if there was a record that always comes back to your memory from those mission sets, a UK garage record that we could spin now, just one that like you always used to play or do a sick mix with or something that can reflect those early mission days.
So many, so
Time's
many.
ticking.
All right, top of the head then, it'd have to be, it's not even indie because that's what we used to change up the vibe, but we sped it up fast, that
Peaceful.
Tainted Love. Yeah, Tainted Love by Impedance, you get me? I think must have got that record from Bush's older brother, Mr. P. You get me? Basically, Bush bought this record at one time, and to play it by itself, I think it was really slow, but if we speeded it up, wow, mad thing, this tune there.
Man, we're still talking the early days. Well, it is relatively still the early days, man. We're talking Mission FM. Just played another big rhythm, like from Fonty's selection. Those Crisp Biscuits were shutting down the radio. You guys had also started to appear in what were like the major garage raves at the time. Sun Cities and Club Coliseum at the time. I remember seeing you guys down there, Cosa Nostra as well. Like some legendary spots, man. And that was around the same time that there was also a collective out of South London called So Solid that were I like to call it like the new wave of UK garage, if you like, because until you guys had bust, it was like garage had a certain vibe, almost like a concept. It was built around the music. It was built around female lyrics. It was not built around MCs so much. It was not built around, some of the mixing that you was doing, Fonty. And I felt when you guys came out, it opened the doors for all of that to happen. And like I said, out of South London, there was the legendary So Solid crew, the legend now.
Who are they?
And out of East London, a little clique I was part of, Pay As You Go Cartel. Pay As You Go Cartel. Now, like all three of us, you guys being from North, So Solid kind of were doing their thing in South, we were doing our thing in East. It was like a whole new wave of power was being built, I feel like.
Yeah, but it definitely was. And it was like all happening like around similar times as well, because like no one was really aware of each other. You know what I mean? Still, I remember the whole thing happening. I remember first Buck So Solid as well. Basically, I know that they was very surprised. They heard a lot about us basically, and yeah, I remember we bucked up at one time in Camden Palace, mate.
See, the difference with So Solid, we fully knew about you guys, and like I said, I used to listen to those mission sets. I'm sure all the other guys did as well.
Remember we met Mega one at Temple before? When we was doing the dance, we met Meg on the stairs, and he was like, "Nah, big up you, man."
But I think he means you weren't ready for like when it went down in the dance.
They weren't ready for us to dust them out like that. No.
But all three cliques were really killing it at the time, man. And I guess it couldn't be long before there was some sort of something, friction. I wouldn't even call it friction, but like musical back and forthery, like clashing, whatever you want to call it. It wasn't long before you guys, of course, like Fonty just mentioned, had your legendary, well, not as legendary as the one we're going to talk about after, but it was still a legendary clash. Heartless
That one was
and So
documented,
Solid.
isn't it? They're so solid, but it's kind of lost in the archives.
It's like
innit?
people talk about
We're
it, but
dying for it, bro, to get out there, bro. Trust me.
But the one that I'm about to talk about, you know, people still talk about to this day. It was very well documented. It was down with the old the Sunday markets. You could buy the pack with like the part one from the rave, then like the radio set that followed. But how did that? for those that don't know, like how did all of that even unfold? Because everything, like you said, was rosy, and each clique was kind of doing their own thing in their own lane, and then all of a sudden there was like
friction. That
kind of built up to what is now a really legendary night at Destiny's in Watford. Bush, you remember that night?
Yeah, I remember the night. I remember it like it was yesterday still. And, you know, it's weird because, like you said, everything was fine, basically. We was doing our stuff and stuff like that. And, I mean, people who know us know we were like a ladies' sound. We weren't really we could clash and we had dub plates and stuff like that, but weren't our main objective, you understand? We was there to entertain the people. But I think what happened the real early season that like Major Ace, big up Major Ace still, you understand? And in a way, looking back on it now, it's like he was probably a fan of ours in a way, you understand? And he started to copy and bite certain of the lyrics that I
remember like the talking's coming back. Bushkin's been saying that like you're biting bars, and like I'm not gonna lie, I listened to a couple of lyrics that he had at the time, and I was like, I didn't say it because obviously these are like, but I was like, he might have a little point, but I was like, no, you're cool, man. Like just do your thing, but try not to like do that style and do your other styles. But you could feel the kind of tension building up.
Yeah, man, he was biting a couple of lyrics directly still, but again, looking back on it now, it's flattery in a way. That's how you're supposed to take it as a compliment. But being young, you understand, and kind of everyone's got their ego and kind of, you understand, arrogance at the time. I remember pulling him up and kind of saying to me, "Oh, G, kind of ease off them lyrics there, G." Yeah. You understand? Because that ain't the done thing, and we don't really par like that. You get me? And he was like, "Yeah, man, nah, bless up, brother, and where." And then again, the man's yamming back the lyrics again, you understand? So then from there, kind of, now it's becoming a bit more of something. We had a couple clashes. Remember, we had one little incident in Rumble first.
So they were kind of like warm up. Like,
because people don't know, it didn't just come out of the blue.
That's what I mean, because a lot of people just think that one night, out of nowhere, Bushkin and the Heartless decided to just ambush Pay As You Go, and that was it.
Yeah, nothing like that. It was a little warm. There was a little rumble incident with Slim Ting. That was Slim Ting grave, and we had a little clash there. I can't remember. Remember that was a little clash we had in it. Lyrics after.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that was a quick burial, really. It was a quick one. He just got caught so off guard. It was like his mouth was just hanging. He tried to say something, but it just went Pete Tong for him that day, you know. Yeah. Quite embarrassing. And that was in 1999, you know, that one day. You know?
99.
Early one.
Early. And also, again, the people don't really know about it. Then we had another catch up in Temple, North London. Remember that one?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, but
you talking about Club Space?
Club Space.
Oh, that was like 98 then.
Wow. Yeah, there was Club Space.
Like, this was like, really, it was like a Bushkin and Major Ace thing.
Really,
slightly. Like.
That's the way it started, you know. That is the way it started.
Truly, you understand? It is like that in a way.
Yeah.
But then it kind of, again, you know, I did think. Basically, yeah. Then after those little incidents, the main thing what was on the table was there was a big clash supposed to happen anyway with all the.
I remember like it was like Pay As You Go versus Heartless versus So Solid.
Heartless Crew.
Yeah,
I think even K2 were on it.
I think even there was even flyers were out.
No, that was a big rave. That was the biggest thing. It did when we all got up to Birmingham. The rave got locked off before it even started because it was just too much hype.
Too much hype.
You understand? So it was like, but we'd gone there prepared to slaughter everyone basically. Like, we went there like ready, you understand? Like, well, okay, this is gonna be the pinnacle now, and it never happened. It was like anticlimax. And then the Destiny's Watford event come on, and again we weren't really going there to clash, you understand? But what happened? I think users still had it in the Page Girls still had it in their heads that they want to kind of clash us, and everyone wants to be number one at that time. I think we was at pole position, but everyone wanted that pole position, and it's like. Who did I speak to before? I was speaking to G, and it's like I'm explaining to him. I listened to the set recently, and when you listen to it, you can actually hear the MCs are calling us out all the way through their hour set.
Oh wow!
If you listen to it now, you understand. It could.
Yeah,
See, and I've actually listened to it bare times, and I didn't even know that.
No, if you listen to it intently, you'll hear that all the way through. Maxwell, Majors, and come, should we done them? Run it. Let's done them.
Oh really?
Bare stuff all the way through.
And you know what? The official, like, obviously being part of Page at the time, like the info on our side after that clash, it was like, nah, it was a setup. They sat down with the promoter. Like, this was the actual belief. Like, this was the belief. Like, they sat down with the promoter. They planned it. Like, they came a bit later because we'd be tired. Like, they had like there was literally like a full theory on how and why that happened.
Conspiracy.
Yeah,
No.
it was crazy.
If you listen back to the tape right now, you can hear it. There's loads of things in it where it's like you are calling it on. Basically, well, you know what? We're the number one crew. Any boy test dead. This and other. What should we done them? Should we done them now? There's all of that's in there. Crystal.
What do you not think?
And we was running late, and they were saying, next DJ come, or we're gonna take your pee.
But do you not think because of what had gone on, you were taking everything that was being said as, oh, this could be for us? I don't think they even knew that the next DJ, inverted commas, was meant to be you guys. So I think
I'm not
everything
too
was,
sure.
I think both sides at the time
When you
were,
listen to it, it doesn't come across like that at all, bro. It comes across very like.
Is it blatant? Is it obvious?
It's blatantly to what it is. It is. You know, there's no real way. But when you get a chance, have a listen to it. Because I listened to it recently,
I'm gonna get that out
stitches.
tonight.
I was like, wow, these man were really. You know what? The funny thing about this whole thing is, I'm speaking to you like from listening back to the CD point of view, but obviously I was there. And how it happened, I got into the rave before Fonty and Mo.
Yeah.
I kind of wormed my way in. So while I'm actually in the rave, I'm hearing these things live and direct myself, because they wouldn't have known that I was in the rave.
Yeah.
So the little stuff they're saying, I'm hearing it, and that's what's inspired me to go up on the mic. I'm thinking to myself, wow, these men are drawing man out.
So you I ain't waiting for Mo.
Yeah.
I need to get up
I'm just
there,
running
bro.
in like, bam, and then just how the time went, because it's like nothing was planned. This is all, people think, oh, was that thing planned or stuff? It was off the cuff totally. The man was saying stuff, I was getting emotional and upset. I ran up on the stage, but just so happened, as I got in there on the stage, these men have kind of come similar time basically.
Yeah.
I'm on the stage, we've had a little back and forth, me and Maxwell, and then these are in the place by that time. So it's like, okay, wow, the man's over there to save the day.
The cavalry, bro.
Yeah, man, the cavalry arrived just at the right time, like.
Legendary. For those that haven't checked it out, you can go on YouTube and relive it in all its glory. I say glory, like it was glory for Heartless that night. I keep saying it, just glad I wasn't there that night, man. It sounded and felt like it would have been a not a good night to be in Pay As You Go, to be in a venue. Of course, the legendary radio set followed, kind of like got a little point back for Pay As You Go.
Yeah, that almost leveled it up, and you understand? That was like, wow, because I remember that again. I don't know how you would have felt after the clash.
Bruv,
but
it was like the hurt and the humiliation and the feeling of like we've been upstage, like you said, the pride and the egos, and like you said, everyone was gunning for pole position, and everyone was really killing it at the time.
At the time, yeah, that's right.
So
exactly.
like to have that public, like I said, humiliation, it was like it was literally like fury the next day. Like MCs are up at 8 a.m. waiting for the radio station to switch on. It's like, do you know?
Yeah, no, that's right. And the show that you had done touched man back. I mean, I remember, you know, feeling like, oh, like this is that, you know, it's gone to a next level. Like, man, they're taking it too far. That's how I felt after. Like,
I still feel like it was. Having the live crowd there though was better.
Probably the
Like,
one
I would have rather had your one.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, legendary clash. If you guys want to go and check it out, like two titans of UK garage. I say UK garage, but you know, questions are already starting to get asked about what type of music are these guys actually doing. You know, album deals and major labels were coming along and signing acts, and the music that was getting put out was edging definitely towards what we now know as grime.
Yeah. I mean, people say it to us, and I mean, we never, I mean, what I would say is we definitely started the grime, what people say is grime now, you understand? But it's almost by default, you understand? It's just, again, having a jungle influence of chatting over lyrics from start to finish. I mean, when we came into garage, there's a few basic things that kind of point to the starting of grime. Like, garage was like a music-led genre.
Yeah.
where grime is an MC-led genre.
It was very much about the DJ. If there was an MC, he was just a host.
He was a host. He
to
was
accompany. It was
behind, secondary to the music.
Yeah.
Whereas when we came in, we changed that basically because obviously we had 2 MCs. So now the focus becomes on the MC more than the DJ. Again, subconscious, we never planned it out this way. This is just how it happened. So when we've come into Garage, we've kind of changed that format of it being more musical based to now it being more MC based.
And that wasn't accepted as well. It wasn't easy for us to bust in Garage because we was going against the grain there as well still.
I think that was the kind of, that was almost like where all of us kind of set off and started to go in a different direction, hence grime, the genre being made, because we weren't fully, the MC thing wasn't fully accepted in Garage.
People weren't embracing it like that. But I mean, again, we was kind of champion that, and again, that by default, we was chatting from the jungle days, like on rhythms, from start to finish. Again, this wasn't done in Garage, and again, the Garage tunes weren't made in that way that you could chat all over them, and that's why I thought it was playing instrumentals of certain things, speeding certain things up to allow us, because we had so many lyrics, we had to get out. So I thought it was, in a way, creating a lane for us to actually get all our lyrics out, which again is kind of what shaped grime, because in them days MCs weren't chatting all the way across the rhythm. Number one in Garage, it just wasn't heard of. You understand?
You weren't even in space to. There was like too much vocals on most tracks.
Too much vocals. So that's what fun. It was looping certain things, sampling certain things, and playing instrumentals where we could actually exercise all our lyrics from start to finish. You understand? So that was a kind of game changer from Garage to grime, which was something we started. And again, what happened from that is where people are starting to get notorious and people are really buying into what we're doing, chatting all these lyrics over the instrumentals. Now, it changed again because producers now started to make rhythms in this fashion to cater for MCs chatting all the way. So again, it's kind of, we're shaping grime as it is now basically, and without us even knowing it. Because I wouldn't say that we ever said, this is grime music and we're making grime music. It's just that what we was doing, we was chatting, we did have all these different types of lyrics. It wasn't really in Garage prior to that. You understand? Chatting about, we had the rude boy lyrics, we had the girl lyrics. So we're chatting all these different types of lyrics, and then on top of this, Fonty's playing all sorts of alternative things, mix them in. And this is what I know, because I never said that we ever made the grime or made up the name grime. We may have started it, but what happened back in them days, if you remember, when we're going raving and we're playing in raves, the rude boy talk then was like, whoa, them man they're grimy, them man are grimy. So in my head,
that's how it.
This is where the thing started from. Then this is what man will mix up a montage of different music, different sounds, flinging in bashment, flinging in this, and we're chatting over all the lyrics. And the ravers are saying, this rude boy said, whoa, them man,
it's grimy,
it's grimy, this is grimy. You understand? So that's where the thing really stumbled from. But people don't really know the history unless you was raving then and you was about
known,
it. You wouldn't really know this.
Especially when journalists started to talk about it. They needed a title. Like they was talking about it as Garage with MCs, and then after a while, it was like, what do we call it?
Yes,
and then I started seeing journalists naming it grime. And at first, like you said, none of us were like, all of us were like, what's this title we've been given? But like you just explained, that's kind of where it all came from. It was going down a much grimier route.
Well, yeah, that's right. And you understand that it was a proper change. You understand that the man made a change, and then like again with the tune Musical Mob. Remember that tune? We was championing the Pulse X. Again, that was like another big game changer.
Even like So Solid Dilemma. That was an early one.
Yeah.
There was like obviously tracks like No We, Heartless Theme. It was like the records were literally becoming more and more. I feel like we need to play Heartless Theme. We've had it playing in the background for like ages. I want to hear the full version. We're going back like almost 15 years, 12, 13, 14 years.
Right. I mean, 2001. Because the thing is, that rhythm was already around before we put the lyrics on it.
Wow.
We was already butting out that rhythm there alongside Pulse X and Eskimo and like Bounce Rhythm and those kind of things there by the from that was like 2000 was playing that. So, and this was just called the Super Glue Rhythm.
I remember.
And then after we put the lyrics on that in 2001.
I got to ask as well.
Yeah, that was second set of lyrics.
Oh, was that? Oh, so there was a first take.
The first one was just
different
Where
lyrics.
is it? Where
over
is that?
18, over 18
You
got that one?
It's a Libby's.
We need the triple X version,
Listen,
boy.
you just hear one word every now and again.
Wow.
It was like it was deep. Like I don't know what the
Wow.
man then was thinking.
What was that called again?
It was cool with the love song.
That is it.
Such a friendly, such a nice
It's
title.
a nice name, but that's all that's nice about it. You get it basically. I'm telling you.
Wow. So that's a first. Hearing that this wasn't actually the original
that's right.
version.
Yeah, man made a
Yeah.
better version. I can't say it was better, but I had more hype. And we
Yeah,
took the
more
font.
grit.
The font, it was like, nah.
Where we going with this?
Yeah, so
I
go
mean-
back and rewrite that basically, and then that's how man
Take
went
that
back
one
and-
to Chimes, boy.
Yeah,
Only.
exactly. He wouldn't even to try and do that. Nah, you ain't that they ain't going nowhere.
He wouldn't.
Rare. So rewrite it. And man-
Why did we never get the Heartless Crew album? That's a question I never ever got the answer to as well.
Yeah,
Well,
There's so because the same thing happened with Pay As You Go. There was an album deal done. Like we
Did
got
you
in
make
there.
one?
We actually made a whole album, but there wasn't an album deal done. There was talks of an album deal. Like we made an album in the time that we made the album. All the craziness was so solid had happened. Garage was now like dangerous, and things just came off. Deals just started coming off the table. I've still literally got the album at home now. I think me and Genius have like only 2 copies of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we actually made the album, but it never saw the light of day as well, man. And I know you guys
mad
did
one.
an actual record deal with East West, I believe it was back in the day.
Warner East West, we had a album deal with them. We made the album, but I mean, my analogy, the album wasn't too great. It was kind of watered down.
It was the time when
In
Garage
hindsight,
was
we
getting
think
commercials, so it was like people were kind of in that transitional period of making tracks for club, and then you know trying to make a track that would be a bit more accessible.
yeah.
That's right.
You know, yeah, no, I was just gonna say it was a funny one. I mean, if we just got left alone just to make an album, everything would have been fine. But what I realized that these major labels do, and these people that own these industries and stuff, they don't really want to give the artist full control over what they're doing. It's almost like I'm signing you up because of what you can do, but now I want to tell you what to do just for my own safety. And then when they start to get their hands in, I mean, obviously, if you're getting signed up by someone and then this person's giving you a piece of advice, you're going to be more likely to take it because like, you just signed me on it basically. But then you realize to yourself, you actually start to lose a bit of what you're about. You know what I mean? It's not like you're changing. Not like anyone said like, oh yeah, you got to do it like this, you got to do it like that. No one ever told us anything like that. But when you're getting a recommendation and this person's had a number one, this person had number one, and they want to make a tune with you, and then you're hearing a tune and it's like, it's alright. It's alright.
It's easy to get.
it's
It's
good.
easy for everything to become cloudy, man.
Yeah, and then you almost feel a way like sometimes what I've realized now that in this game, I mean, a lot of people have probably find it easier because of us, because of the fact that we got like shafted in the kind of way. A lot of people now would more just stick to their guns and stay straight to what they're actually going to be doing. And at the time, we didn't really have many people before us actually seeing what's going on. We got like the biggest deal at the time, you know?
I remember hearing, like, I wasn't even going to ask about the money, but I remember hearing, like, and what people don't know as well, in those days of like the golden era of UK garage, like, you'd get like, it was like 100 grand single deals, like, and crazy figures compared to the deals that
Now,
artists are getting offered today. In those days, like, the deals that were on the table for us and obviously you, like, it was some crazy money.
Yeah.
It was sick. And the funny thing, we made a fundamental mistake at that time. We went with the people who were giving us the most amount of money.
Yeah.
We pressurized them to get the most amount of money, but that gave us the least amount of control.
Yeah.
You understand? Which backfired on us, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then again, the other important factor to throw into it regarding the album is that we had never made an album before. We made 1 or 2 tunes. We actually had quite a few tunes that we'd made, but it was like skeleton little vibes basically.
Rather than putting together an actual
body of
yeah.
work. So you understand, and then like for instance, had we probably been left to our own devices to do that, we might have been right. But it was time constraint. Number one, they wanted the album delivered in a certain amount of time, and then they put us in with someone to kind of engineer the album for us. It was our ideas, but that kind of guy was
watering everything down.
And I say watering down because I just say it as it is. Yeah. But to him, he was like refining it. Really and truly, it's like the rough edge is what the people like. That was the grimy thing. That grimy thing is what is. That's now what everyone's brought into, the grime, and that's what we started in the beginning. That being rough around it, just starting that vibe and
rough
being
and proper.
going to things and just doing anything. You understand? That's what people love, the essence. You understand? And
So once that essence is starting to be like
watered down,
polished up and then watered down, you're losing what...
It's what it is, what people originally wanted. They wanted that heartless vibe. You understand? And they weren't getting it in the album. Even when I listen to the album now, I'm like...
But to be honest with you, that wasn't the reason why the album didn't get released. That was nothing to do with that. Even after we made this album, and to be honest with you, now we look back and we say it's watered down. But at the time, everyone's kind of thinking, well, maybe, you know. But what actually happened is it's a maybe. One thing I did know is that it wasn't a kind of... The reason why we're saying maybe because it wasn't an album which was actually made for our ravers in the clubs. You get me? It was an album that was made for the charts.
This was a time when garage had like a dual purpose. It was like there was the club stuff, and then you had Luckney and Pied Piper, and you had Flowers and all these tracks that were going real commercial.
Yeah. So it was a real maybe. But what actually happened is the whatever was going on with Warner Brothers or whatever, they ended up basically just disbanding that record label. East West.
Missy Elliott was signed to the same label as well.
And Blazing Squad.
Yeah, Missy Elliott, Tweet.
Blazing Squad had a little run.
Big up the Blazing Squad boys.
They had a little run.
Tweet was on there as well. Fat Joe, I think, was on there as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of people,
Yeah, but...
Sean Paul.
Yeah, exactly. So basically after that, they just gave us back our music and be like, so it's like, if it was an album that we made for ourselves, then we could just put that out. But it was an album which needed a major label behind it to give it all the gloss, because it's not the kind of thing that people are going to be expecting us to do by ourselves, the kind of things we can do with a big label behind us, you know what I mean? So that's really what happened, really. We just got left with this album which, like, by ourselves, it's like, well, we ain't really going to be playing this in our clubs.
It may be another 20 years, because you know one thing, what is like a revolutionary album?
Yeah,
that's what I would say. It definitely was nothing like you would never.
Maybe one day you might get a little sneaky one.
Still.
Bush can still not sure.
I'm not sure, man.
I'm trying to soften him up.
To be honest with you, it's not. Every tune on the album, they're absolutely amazing.
Pitch up, boys, in that label.
Them ones.
Everything is absolutely amazing. And the thing is, you know, now we're talking about this kind of watered down thing. You know, it's kind of like we have to kind of get a little balance. I think is the kind of word, because like sometimes we all kind of want to be gritty. We want to kind of be real. We want to kind of keep it true, as we say, But we have to kind of think to ourselves, what is that true that we're trying to keep it, Because I look at music as a really powerful medium to get your message across. And I remember, like, this is what happened when I was making the album. I remember coming to the dilemma, even like we were talking about the love song with the super glue. I was thinking to myself, like, that love song there, the Respect on Road we're gonna get is gonna be phenomenal to release that. You know what I mean? It's just the kind of, when you hear the chorus one line, like, man are gonna be like, slapping the walls, everything. It's a mad thing. But is it something that I would like my mum to hear? Is it something that I would like my future kids to hear? Is it something that I think is a good message to people who don't really know anything about this? All those answers are no. You know what I mean? So I started to think to myself, like, I like it, but do I like the effect of it? That's what I'm talking about in the power of music. And I think to myself, there is a line where you can get things that sound good and is good. It tastes good and it's good for you. It don't taste good and I'm going to poison you later. You know what I mean, basically? And that's the fine line the Heartless Crew was looking to bring out with our album. You get it, basically? And this is what Heartless Crew is still about now. You know, I big up to everybody that's doing it, but you're going to realise when you get to a certain stage, you're going to have a responsibility and you're going to realise to yourself, them same people who you're feeding with all the kind of content of what you're bringing, it's going to come back on you. So make sure you know and believe in what you're talking about, because we got power, you know what I mean? Kids who don't even know us, like us, you get basically, they hear a little something when those growing up, all them artists will tell you, get basically skip to the world of them. They'll tell you they listen to us in school. Man, inspired them. You get basically, man, inspired them onto a next level to do what they're doing now. You know what I mean? So it means that we got a responsibility. Everybody has. Everybody who decides to pick up a microphone has a responsibility. Everybody who decides to push some buttons and some music, you know what I mean? BBC, everybody, we all have a responsibility. And that is what is the most important thing, you know, about understanding what that responsibility is and using it.
That is well said, boy. Well said, trust me, bro. Yeah. Well said, man. Now, 2017, bringing things bang up to date. You guys, of course, had your split back in 2011. I don't even want to really entertain it too much because you guys are back together now, which was great news. In 2016, we got the news that Heartless Crew officially because there was rumors, like I was seeing like Instagram pictures of you guys like all together. I was like, whoa, like were they clearly, they're obviously, everything must be sweet because they're in pictures together. Obviously you guys were doing the FAB, Fonty and Bushkin thing as well. Mo, you were still working hard, doing your thing, working on music as well in the studio as well as doing your thing in the clubs. But 2016, why did you guys decide to reunite officially as Heartless Crew?
I think it's just good, just timing. I mean,
it felt like a perfect time.
It was.
From an outsider, but from an inside perspective.
Yeah. I mean, we did have a breakup and stuff like that. So I mean, we can't play it down because there was a lot of feelings and stuff like that, and a lot of miscommunication and stuff like that, and the love had been lost and damaged to an extent. You understand? But then, time being the great healer it is. You understand? And then also our external factors, just like the UK being in such a good position. You understand? The whole festival things, the bright lights just started to shine and the clouds open up, the sun come out again. And
Stars align.
Yeah, stars align. And
it actually felt like that.
It felt right, it actually felt right. And we'd been talking a lot more and stuff like that, and just getting a bit of the vibe and the chemistry kind of back together and stuff like that. And I mean, a lot of load of the fans really wanted it. You understand? A lot of fans really were always pushing us. They should catch us individually. Even when me and Fonty was doing it,
you must have been getting sick of it. Like everywhere you went, when are we gonna get Heartless together? Like literally everywhere. All three of you went.
Everyone. If me and Fonty together, they said, "Where's Mo?" You understand? Or Mo probably get it down.
Fonty together. Where's Bush?
So you're always getting it. You understand? You can't really get away from the Heartless thing. You match what we was all trying to do individually. You understand? So the time was just right. And I think, for me personally, I think that the UK thing's in such a good place, but we started something way back when, and it's like we never actually got to finish it. People always say, "Oh, wow, you got smashed it, you got a legend, you got done this, you got done that, and whatever else." But in my head, we never actually got to finish what we started. You understand? There was so much more to give and so much more knowledge we had to spread and to share. Yeah, it was incomplete, so... Yeah, man, I think time was just right, man.
Back together. So what can we expect now that you guys are back together? 2017, you know, I see you guys are all over the place once again. Going to be shutting down summer festivals, resorts.
Yeah, boy.
I think I'm in Ibiza same day as you guys. Well, that's going to go off. What's next, man? You guys getting back in the studio? Have you got what are the plans?
We're just, you know what? At the moment, we're just getting back to that speed of where we was, getting the vibe back, getting that chemistry back with each other, getting the chemistry back with the fans, you understand? Spreading that love again on the scene, you understand? Bringing that kind of vibe back. Cause in a way, we've kind of looking in from the outside and kind of certain little vibe and the chemistry is missing out there certain times. A lot of times you're going raving now and people are on their phones and they're Snapchatting and stuff like that. But when in our days, obviously...
Listen, even if the smartphones was about, it would have been hard to there's too much vibes.
Exactly, because you're raving, you're going there and you're actually raving. So we're just trying to bring that dancing culture back into raves where people going out and actually leaving, sweating where they've had a good time there. The gal them sweat out their weave and all them things there. We need to bring all them things there back. And then like Fonty said, step on from that. You're definitely going to get the message because we always had a message to give to people. You understand? We're trying to spread that positivity and that love. You understand? So you're going to get that message and that will become more enforced when we do get back into the studio together.
I was just about to say, is there going to be some more Heartless Crew music? Because I know Bush, you're always working on music. Mo, you've got music for days as well. Is there going to be a Heartless Crew? Maybe even a different album, but an album. Because I know Bush ain't having it.
That one has to say there. But yeah, man, no, I think it's definitely, that was always on the cards for us. You understand? It was always trying to veer off from the DJ thing into the artist thing. You understand? But I mean, again, we're just kind of picking up where we left off. So we got to get back and master this DJ thing and lock that down basically and set that little level there, and then we're going to go again into the artist thing, because I think what's happened now in between the time that we've left, the MCs are now become artists. But again, me personally talking, the package is still lacking one or two things. You understand? And again, where we've had a bit of experience and stuff like that, I think there's some good things we can kind of teach and spread some vibes, and then if necessary even show. You understand? To get that artist thing right. But first, point call for us is to lock
But
down.
the thing is, the Heartless Crew, like what we're about is it's a lot. It's substance. It's a show, and what I feel is that for the last 10 years, like no one's really seen like Heartless Crew. I mean, Iron Apple might be the last kind of time where you kind of like saw us when we were still giving it to them full 100. You get me? Since then, like just life in itself, it takes you through different journeys, man. That's how you mature. You know what I mean? Basically, like nobody is just like born and they're great. You know what I mean? Basically, you need to just go on a journey. And when we got big as Heartless Crew, like we were just having fun and doing our thing, basically. And then we looked around one day, it was like, rah, they're looking at us. You know what I mean? Basically, so. Even that is something you have to grow into and understand it, and understand what is fame, understand what is success, understand what is happiness. You know what I mean? Basically, because just because you've got a lot of money and you've got a lot of girls and you've got a lot of this doesn't mean that you've got a lot of happiness. You know what I mean? Basically, so sometimes you have to go and find your happiness deeper than the superficial things in life. You know what I mean? Basically, and that's the journey which every human being has to go on, regardless of whether they feel they have to or not. You know, so that is the journey that Heartless Crew have been on for the last 10 years. You know what I mean? Basically, we've been in ourselves, learning and reading and studying and doing a whole heap of different kind of things because we're on a deeper level than that's what you see us. You know what I mean? Still, so.
Jeez, Fonty's dropping some gems on us today.
It's the truth. It's the truth. So like, yeah, music, like, boy, we've got that there from morning. As man are ready to go and pick it up again, it's gonna kick off like nothing before. But how we're gonna do it is more what we're taking time to give you now, basically. But I can guarantee you, man, it's gonna be something which is gonna carry on giving you goose pimples like what it did back in the day up to today and in the future.
I look forward to all of that, man. I feel like that's like the perfect way to wrap up what has been like, it's flown by as well. Like I could have sat and chatted to you guys for like 4 hours, to be fair.
Yeah, for real.
I think we should make some noise in the building for the Heartless Crew tonight.